We're live.
We
Hi,
are.
Dr. John.
Hi, Janice. How are you?
So you do the intro first, and then I'm going to explain to you my crazy day.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody, to Outside the Box 2020 with Clarity Based Marketing's one and only Janice Paul. And I'm not Dr. John, advanced practice registered nurse with Island Direct Primary Care. Hey, Janice, thanks for having me today.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm a little crazy today. I am, as you can see,
Just
I am
today?
not at home. Okay. Maybe I'm a little crazy every day. It's okay though, right?
That's right.
I'm a little hectic. I'm a little bit hectic. So I'm at my dad's house today, and it took me a little bit of time to get myself set up, but I'm set up. It's not, my normal setup, but it is what it is. So then we're live today for the first time on the Outside of the Box YouTube channel. I'm sure we don't have anybody watching us there. And I figured out, you remember when we were going live and it wasn't really live, it was live, but the privacy settings were messed up, so it was no one could see it. I fixed that. So slowly, that whole progress, not perfection thing. I'm getting there.
Good.
So we're just going to talk for a brief time today because I'm super busy. I know you're super busy. But I wanted to tell you, I hadn't even told you this. I'm probably going to get in trouble. Don't be mean to me, everybody. Okay? I notice you're not willing to commit to that.
I won't be mean.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
never
thank
mean.
you. No, you're not. You're never mean. You're never mean to me. You're right. Okay. I got vaccinated.
You did.
How about that?
Okay.
Yeah. So here's what happened. So I went to a client's last week, maybe, and I walked in and he said, "Have you gotten your vaccine?" And I said, "No, not yet, blah, blah." Then to be honest with you, I was on the fence. Like, I don't know if I want to get a vaccine or not. I really didn't know if I wanted to do that. I was on the fence. So my client said, "Let's get you hooked up." And he called his doctor, and the doctor said, "Well, Cocoa Beach Pharmacy's doing it starting next week." So I got a little bit of inside information, and I got scheduled, and I did it on Wednesday, and I was super duper 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 nervous about it. And I got the Johnson & Johnson, the one-shot deal. So I was really nervous, just so you know. Like, so nervous. Then I get there and the pharmacist does it and he says, "Everybody gets sick." He said that. Everybody gets sick.
Did you get sick?
No.
So you're not everybody.
Mm-mm,
You're
mm-mm.
special.
I am. Well, we knew that already, right?
Extra special.
Hey. No, it was I was really scared. I was really scared. Of course, I'm a chicken anyway. It's weird because I'm not. I am and I'm not. Like, I'm a contradiction because I'm not really. Well, I'm scared of everything. I just do things anyway. So I decided to mind control through it. So he gave me some good advice though. He said, "Take Tylenol every 4 hours regardless. Go take some Tylenol now. Take it every 4 hours." So I was like, okay. I never take Tylenol. I don't take medicines at all. I had to literally go to the store when my daughter-in-law was here. I sent her to the store to get me Tylenol. And I took Tylenol every 4 hours. And that's not your, hey, it worked. That's all I
Did
got
it?
to say about it. Yes, it worked. It
It did?
worked. Yes, like my arm, I got it on the left arm. My arm was not even sore.
I should almost bring Nola in here to have her join us in this conversation
Do
here.
it. Do
No,
it. Where is
she doesn't
she?
want to participate. She's actually
Aww.
having lunch, and we're trying to fit in a few extra patients today on Friday, so she's taking care of them because it takes nurse. It's just basic nursing stuff, and she's more than qualified. So, so
So,
my take is slightly different.
okay, do
Or
tell.
at least the information out there can be a little different.
Okay.
So one may argue that by taking Tylenol, you reduced your immune response. And isn't that the whole purpose of getting the vaccine?
Well, I didn't want to get sick.
You're not getting sick. If we
Okay.
define illness, right, sick is you get the virus. And so that's being sick. When you get a vaccine and you get a fever or you get body aches and pains, that is not sick. That is a natural immune response that your body is saying, hey, there's something going on here. I need to produce antibodies so that I can fight this. Right?
So what you're saying then, I know I'm cutting you off, but I apologize, kinda. So what you're saying is that by taking Tylenol to reduce the side effects would potentially reduce the effectiveness of the vaccine?
Could it?
Is that what you're implying?
Not an implication, because that wouldn't be based off of science.
Okay. Fair enough.
What I'm saying is that you may have reduced the body's natural immune response if you took Tylenol too early. So you still have immune response. It just may not be as great. And so does that mean for fact that you still didn't build it? You may not have built enough antibodies to combat COVID. No, that I'm not saying that, but is it possible? Sure, it's possible. I mean, every single vaccine we have, measles, mumps, rubella, MMR. Okay. Have you ever had have you ever had that vaccine again since you were a little kid? No, because you're really not at risk. If you're a healthcare provider, you have to get a titer. Basically, they draw blood to see if you still have enough antibodies to combat it. But if you're not at risk, we don't do that test. Okay. So over time, some people's antibodies decrease. And this is why they come up with boosters. And so we know things like tetanus, diphtheria has a booster shot. Okay. So when you're young, you have tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, blah, blah, blah. And then every 10 years, you get a booster. So, but you don't do boosters of influenza. You get a new influenza vaccine every year, sometimes twice a year if you're elderly now, because different strands or different variants come about. So so if you would have called me prior to your vaccine or afterwards and said, Dr. John, the pharmacist told me to take Tylenol every 4 hours, no matter what I would have said was I would monitor for signs and symptoms of side effects of the vaccine. So things like fever, body aches and pains and things. And then if your temperature got around 100, 101, right around 101, I'd say take it. If your temperature got around 100, that's what I would expect. That's what I want you to do, because take COVID out of all of this. If you get a virus and you get a fever, that is the body's natural response to ward off that illness or to fight that illness. You want that fever. The problem is you want that fever not to get so out of control. So a high fever, right? 103, 104,
How have we not talked about this before? How have we not talked about this before?
Oh,
I had no idea any of this.
Yeah, so you want an immune response.
I did not know this. I did not know this. In my defense, I did not talk to you about it like on purpose.
No, it just happened quickly and you had to make a decision.
It did. It happened quickly. It's been busy. And I got it done at like, to be honest now, if I had had it, if I'd gotten the shot like during the business day, I would have been burning up the phone line. But it was like 6:30 in the evening when I got it on on Wednesday. And I wasn't bother you at that time because I really was pretty freaked out about it. And there was a young lady there whose husband and parents had had it the day before, and she said all of them were very, very sick. So I left there pretty freaked out, to be honest. So I was pretty happy. I mean, like I said, my arm didn't even hurt. It's starting to hurt now, though.
Yeah.
It's starting to hurt because I took the last dose of Tylenol that I took was at about 2 o'clock this morning. And then I'm like, okay, at this point it's Friday. I had it done at 6:30 Wednesday evening. I'm done. Whatever will be, will be.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I wish I had had this conversation with you before I had it, because I would have handled myself differently. But
you know what? I have those conversations too, and outside of just medicine, even in my personal relationships. So.
Sure.
Sometimes you can just do things differently and then you have a different response. And, but look, it's progress, not perfection.
But there's still an effect regardless. I'm still vaccinated, right?
So, yeah. So maybe in 2 weeks you spend $25 and get an antibody test and we'll check.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Okay, I have one more question for you, and we're going to wrap up. This is going to be the shortest one we've done yet. Maybe. One quick question. What is your opinion of the Johnson & Johnson versus the others that require the booster?
What others require a booster?
The Moderna and the Pfizer, you get the one shot and then you have to follow up, 28 days later? Okay, Johnson & Johnson is the one shot deal. So I don't have to go get a booster, which makes me very happy.
Who said it's a booster?
I didn't know. I just assume. I mean, that's the terminology I've seen used for it.
Yeah, no, it's not a booster.
Not.
It's a two-shot vaccination. Okay, to increase the efficacy of the actual vaccine. So if you get one dose, by the current research, they're showing about 80% efficacy. So if retrospectively, so in other words, looking back to influenza, the influenza vaccine's 46 to 52%. So just one shot of Pfizer and Moderna is 80-ish%. Okay. When you get the second dose, you're 94.5 to 95.4, 95.6 or something like that, depending on the research, efficacy with Moderna and Pfizer. Okay. You're between 60 and 88% with Johnson & Johnson.
So quite a bit lower.
So lower, in the 80 percentile. I think for most people, if you have comorbidities or different chronic illnesses or autoimmune or different things like that, it may be a little less. At the end of the day, those are just numbers based off of, how I feel about numbers. I don't treat numbers, I treat people. So, while numbers are real, you can look at a number, it's black and white. Engineers love numbers.
I like numbers.
We're looking at, maybe 30, 40, 45,000 people in the initial phases of this research. And so, but those numbers are based off of a specific demographic, age, people who are healthy, they don't want to be giving things to people who are unhealthy because then that puts them at risk. And in case something was to happen and stuff. And so that's not the everyday person. So surely you're not everyday people.
I am certainly not everyday people. That is a given.
So it varies. So look, at the end of the day, there's less than a 1% chance, right? So we're looking at, of mortality with COVID, right? So, and then you have, again, how many people have gotten COVID? 1% ish, So when you're looking at the overall numbers, some people just say, by looking at the numbers, I'm not getting the vaccine. And I respect that. However, I don't want to be that one, even if it's 1 in a million. And I don't have a spleen. So I've talked about this. So, and I want to be available to my patients. So I'll go ahead and take the long-term risk because I understand the technology. And so, yeah, I think it's okay. I think all of them are right. MedFast is starting to give the Johnson & Johnson. So, so they're having that available. So like a lot of my members, if they want the vaccine, that's the one that we're doing. I'm still a fan of the messenger RNA, so I'm still a fan of the newer technology. People would probably argue about that, but look, technology is always changing, and we need to embrace moving forward, not just sticking with the old, which the old way of doing things. And so Johnson & Johnson, that's why it took them a while to come out with the vaccine. So it's an inactive cold virus that they're using to do it versus something that's not even a virus at all. So.
Well, it's all very interesting. And, for the record, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm also not a big vaccine person. I've never gotten a flu shot. Yeah. It's just not really my thing.
Selective vaccinations, and I'm totally supportive of that. So did you get your microchip though? That's the question I want to know.
I think so. I think I feel something there. Listen, nobody wants to microchip me. Nobody wants that much information about me. If they do, they'll change their mind really fast. I'm going to go ahead and save them the trouble.
Awesome. Cool.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Still working on getting us more back into another routine again. So maybe we can get some participation. I really like it when people ask questions.
Good. Well, maybe next Thursday or let's plan on next week. We do have to stick to that day if you can, because I'm going to see my daughter in San Francisco next Friday. So.
I'm good next week. It's just, I should be back in line with kind of. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
All right.
Have a great afternoon.
It was good to see you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.